Redmi Note series is Xiaomi's most loved and most selling series of all. Every year they launch these smartphones with the purpose of redefining what we already know as a great smartphone, and Redmi Note 10 Pro is no exception. It's already been 6 months since the launch of this phone and it is still the best phone you can get under Rs 35,000 in Nepal. But like every phone, it also comes with its own pros and cons. We have used this phone for a long time now and decided to give our verdict so that you can know everything about this phone before making a purchase decision. Let's start with the design first. The back of the phone looks beautiful and has Corning Gorilla Glass 5 protection. Especially the particular grey color variant we have adds elegancy to the phone. The side frame is made of plastic, which should not be a problem whatsoever. Moving on, hands-on experience of the device is pretty impressive too. Immediately after holding the phone, you will feel how light the phone is. Though the phone weighs around 192 grams, you will not feel the weight. The device has rounded corners along with curved edges around the back that ensures comfortable hold. The top has 3.5mm headphone jack, second speaker grill, secondary microphone for noise cancellation and an IR blaster. On the left, there is cutout for SIM tray. However, on the bottom, you can find the primary microphone, USB Type-C charging port and the speaker grill. To the right, we have fingerprint scanner embedded in power button and volume button. The fingerprint scanner is fast enough too. It gets the job done and it is perfectly fine considering the price of the phone. The black color variant we have is a fingerprint magnet, and I suggest you to use the default case provided in the box itself. In my extensive uses without the protection on, I did not find any major scratches despite my rough handling. So you should be good to go with the screen protector and the case. Design-wise, I will give this phone a 9 out of 10. No other phone in this price range compares to a build quality as good as this. It just has no competition in terms of build quality and premiumness. Talking about the display, it has best-in-class display with 6.67 inches Full HD AMOLED screen with 120Hz refresh rate. The bezels are very minimum and near even with slightly larger chin, which you won't even notice that much. There is a hole punch cutout for selfie camera as well. The notch is very minimal and does not distract the content at all. Colors are very punchy while watching videos. In addition, you can enjoy HDR content too, which increases real estate. If we talk about the refresh rate, I have a mixed feeling. On paper, it may seem this is a flagship grade display, but it is not the case. I did find stutters while using the phone and it is not as smooth as advertised at times. And sometimes, while accessing the notification center, I found its refresh rate decreases significantly. It may be because of poor optimizations of MIUI or the mid-range chipset used in the phone. But don't get me wrong here, you still cannot get any better display in this price segment than this one. It has 1200 nits peak brightness, which is crazy for a smartphone as affordable as this. Even in direct sunlight, I had no problem reading the contents of display. So for display, it is a 9.5 out of 10 for sure. Now let's talk about the battery. The phone has a large 5020 mAh battery with included 33-watt fast charging support. For me, it lasted around 1 to 1.5 days on medium uses such as watching videos and moderate gaming. However, if you are not a heavy user, this phone can last around 2 days without having to plug it in, thanks to its AMOLED display and mid-range chipset. Charging from 0 to 100% took me around an hour, which is just fine considering a large battery. So for battery, it is a solid 10 out of 10 for me. Talking about camera, it has quad camera setup on the back with 108 megapixel primary lens, 8 megapixel ultra-wide sensor, 5 megapixel telemacro and a 2 megapixel depth sensor. Here are some camera samples from Redmi Note 10 Pro. Shots from primary lens have very punchy colors. As you can see here, the sky looks impressive and the details on the subject's face is preserved very well. There was direct sunlight on the face, but it did very well not to overexpose the image. It does struggle a little bit with direct sunlight behind the subject. The photo comes grainy as you can see here. However, if you turn on HDR, it significantly reduces that noise and overall photo becomes usable. Using ultra-wide lens lets you capture wider field of view but with the hit-in quality. The colors seem washed out and detail is not preserved well. It also comes with 2x digital zoom option, which can be useful at times and does a decent job in clarity department as well. Portrait mode on the phone is good too. The background blur is realistic. You can always adjust the background blur after taking the shots. It produces very impressive portraits which looks pleasing to the eyes. But in complex situations like this, sometimes it misses hair and blends with the background. The 5 megapixel macro lens does a good job in taking close-up shots. It is definitely way better than most 2 megapixel sensors out there. Taking pictures in low light situations like here exposes the lack of wide aperture in the main sensor. Image comes out bright with good exposure but lacks details. The camera automatically detects nighttime and increases the shutter speed by itself according to the situation. Talking about selfie, it features 16 megapixel front-facing camera with f2.45 aperture. Selfie comes out vibrant and looks natural at the same time. I like how it maintains good details on the face, but sometimes it tends to overexpose images at times, as you can see here. If you ever get into such condition, you can just turn on portrait mode on selfie to solve this issue by a fair margin. If we talk about videos, it can record 4K at 30 FPS. It has good dynamic range overall. I definitely liked its contrast and vibrant colors, but it all comes down to personal preference. In terms of stabilization, 4K video does not have any sort of stabilization and it is shaky as you can see in the sample. Turning on Super Steady mode reduces the video resolution to 1080p 30 fps but greatly improves stabilization. All in all, the phone clicks good picture in daytime with enough lighting, but I just doubt that it is a true 108 megapixel camera when I see the nighttime shots. The pictures come grainy and lack details. It could always be fixed with software updates, but it's been a long time and Xiaomi has not fixed it yet. Despite having some issues, I can safely say that this is the best camera experience you can get for this price. There is no competition for this phone in the camera department, hence a 9 out of 10 score for camera. In terms of software, our unit runs on MIUI Global version 12.5.6 after update and with Android 11 underneath. MIUI comes with its own set of perks and customizations, like you can choose thousands of themes from its themes store. There are bloatwares pre-installed, but they can be easily removed by yourself. For me personally, the ads in this phone's system apps like File Manager and Installation Security Check screen is annoying. I turned the ads personalization off and it was much better experience for me. You can just go to settings and turn off the ads if you want, and I am sure that you would love to do it. Speaking of performance, Redmi Note 10 Pro has mid-range Qualcomm Snapdragon 732G, which is the same processor used in Poco X3. It is an octa-core processor based on 8nm process and can handle most games at medium settings. However, it is not as powerful as Snapdragon 860 on Poco X3 Pro. If we talk about the benchmark score, it got around 302K AnTuTu score, which is not that bad, but also not the best. As you can see, PUBG Mobile runs on 40 FPS and not 60. Since other phones like Poco X3 Pro or even Redmi Note 10s can run the game on 60 FPS, Redmi Note 10 Pro falls behind on this department for sure. Another thing I noticed while playing the game is that 240Hz touch sampling rate does not live up to its name on this device. I have used phones with 240Hz touch sampling rate in the past and this feels less responsive while playing PUBG Mobile. Call of Duty runs on highest settings and is very smooth and responsive. I did not notice any major frame drops in both the games. With extensive gaming, the phone did hit up slightly around the camera section. While it has significantly lesser heating when compared to Poco X3 Pro, it is worth mentioning that the phone tends to get heated up when gaming for a longer period of time. The phone comes with 6GB or 8GB of RAM and 64GB or 128GB of UFS 2.2 storage. You can always expand the storage via micro SD card if you ever feel the storage space is not enough for you. About UFS 2.2, it is by no means the fastest storage in the market, which is a little disappointing from the company considering the competition right now. Also, the RAM management on the phone is on the hit and miss side. MIUI is always known for its poor RAM management, and it is the same case here. If you are looking for a particular gaming phone, then I would suggest you to go for Poco X3 Pro. Otherwise, Redmi Note 10 Pro is the best phone you can get under Rs 35,000 in Nepal, as its design is beautiful, its display is splendid, and its camera is top-notch. If you have been using this phone for a while, do let us know in the comments how you feel about it. So that's it for today, and please do not forget to subscribe to our channel and follow us on our social media handles. Thank you.